What's up, Fly fam? I compiled the last 2 days of my live streams so you can see exactly how I approach my swing trades, and you'll be able to see in real time every single ticker that I spoke on push up. This is a fire video. It's so many gems. Trust me. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any video that I drop, because I'm only dropping fire that's gonna take you to the next level as a trader. So make sure you tap in. And if you haven't already, hit the link in my description to join my trading community, Fly Capital. But without further ado, let's get into the video. But the market has just been down this week, starting a new quarter. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be hyped right now. I keep telling y'all, just because you see red doesn't mean that it's not an opportunity. It's an opportunity out there for you right now. You just have to go find it. And you want to be at the right place at the right time. I'm going to continuously say you have to think like an investor. When investors see these red days, they're looking for sales in the market. What can I buy for cheap? So you as an options trader have to take on that mindset and find you some calls to get in to ride it back up to highs. It just has to be the right situation. It's out there in the market. You just have to find it. Now, first thing first, I've been looking at SPY all day, and I talked a little bit about this in the Discord. We've been under this range all day, the pre-market low and high. And that's the first thing that you want to do when you come into the market, especially on SPY. You want to go plot out your pre-market high and low. So we have a high of $522.36, and we have a low of $517.89. And SPY has been riding below that pre-market low all day, trying to test it and get above. This is the furthest we've come to. We're trying to get above, so we're going to see. We just pushed the 518.46 and came back down, so we're going to see. We're going to see. So we got to get above that pre-market low to really get in this range to start getting a recovery. So if you are in calls or looking for calls, that's the level you would be looking at on the smaller time frames, and you will want to see candles close above that level before you get in. If you start to see candles close above that level, then you'll know, okay, we can get a bullish recovery. But while it's testing right now, you could just chill and do nothing, because it's better to be out of this market than to be in, especially with no time on your contract, just getting smacked by theta. That's not what you want. But you definitely want to watch this pre-market high and low range for the day. And if it doesn't get above that pre-market low today, you can do the same thing tomorrow. Once it does get above that pre-market low or break above that pre-market high, then you will know, okay, it's time for a recovery and I'm going to play calls today. But until then, you could just wait, and you got to be patient. A lot of traders just aren't patient with the levels that they're seeing. They just want to get in and try to front run a situation. But if you're patient, you can get in at the right time. And it pays to be a patient options trader, because you don't have to deal with theta. You want to be in when the price is making its move. So it's giving you an incentive to wait. But right now, we're just testing that pre-market low and trying to get above. That next level we're looking at is $522.36 for a retest of that pre-market high. But it has to get above there, and it has to hold. So we'll see. Now, if we look at the quarter, which is the time frame you really want to focus on, especially if you're looking for swings, the previous quarter, we closed at $523.07. For us to really get a bullish move, to continue this trend we've been on for the last 3 months, we have to get above $523.07. If we can get above that previous close, we can flip this quarter and SPY can go crazy, because the previous high was $524.61. but we want to get above that previous close before anything. So $523.07 is another level that you want to plot on your charts right now. You do not want to forget what I'm telling you. But if we start to get bearish and continue to push down, the month we got a 50% retracement at 514.76. And today we actually hit a low of 516.48. So right now we want to stay above that 50% retracement, and that's on the month. If we start to get to 514 and test there and break below, the sentiment may change. But as of right now, we want to continue on this trend, man, and ride that until we're told different. That pre-market high and low, I'm telling you, that's going to be a game changer for a lot of you, because you're going to know what to do and what not to do. So right now, like I said, we're above that pre-market low, but it's still testing. So in a 15-minute, I want to start to see candles close above 517.89 before I start to get in that recovery mode. And we have a level up here where we had a break of structure before we got that really bearish move at 521.42. You can be looking at that previous level on a break of structure as a level to go retest as well. Let me look at the 30-minute. See if we got some levels on there. We got to break a structure a little bit lower on the 30-minute at 520.97. Let me go look at the 4-hour. In the 4-hour, we got a 50% retracement at 519.44. So we got a level right there as well. So you want to keep that in mind. But nothing is going to happen unless we get above that pre-market low. So that's what we're watching at the moment. The market is getting slaughtered right now, so we'll see. The Dow is down, SPY is down, NASDAQ is down, the Russell is down, Bitcoin is down. The market got smacked today. But the crazy part to me is, even with the market getting smacked the way that it did, it's still not crashing and burning. Like when the market is going up, it doesn't matter if the Dow, NASDAQ, SPY, or any of that stuff is fully aligned or a strong bullish day. The market is still going to give you a good move to the upside. Now, when we got everything fully aligned to the downside, it just doesn't come down like that. They do not want this market to fall. Of course, we riding on the opportunity of rate cuts, and everybody is waiting on that. So I guess, man, we just got to wait and see how that's going to play out. I can only imagine how the market is going to react to that, because interest rates been through the roof and the market still has been going crazy. Look at last quarter on SPY. That's ridiculous. The last 2 quarters. 6 months ago, we was at $409.21. We're all the way at $518. It's crazy, man. You can look at the quarters before then. Really started going crazy in July 2022. We was at $348. It's crazy, man. So I can only imagine how the market is going to be once we get a definitive answer on these rate cuts. It's going to be crazy, man. But as of right now, we're still looking at that pre-market high and low. Of course, I want the recovery, man. So I want to break out of this range. But we're just fighting that 517.89 resistance right now. But if we can get back to that pre-market high, it's ball game. Another thing I forgot to tell you all is you want to look at the open of the week. That's why I have it on the Flywzilla indicator at 523.83. As you can see, below 523.83, the market has been bearish. If we get back above that open of the week, we can push. And if we don't get that this week, that doesn't mean that's not something that you want to look at next week. You want to be above that week open if you're going to be bullish, and below if you're bearish. And if you're bullish, you want to get back above. So I'm not saying that you can't find an opportunity if the market falls, because of course you can still find an opportunity now. You just know you want to get back above the week open to change that sentiment. And as that happens, you want the dominoes to fall. So as you can see, we're bullish on the 15-minute right now. If I go to the 30-minute, we're bullish. We want to keep those dominoes falling. If I look at the 4-hour, we're bullish right now, and we want to keep those dominoes falling. We want to keep this bullish move on the 4-hour, then we want to take it to the daily. Right now, we're bearish on the daily, and we're about to go test the bottom of that gap. It could reject, but if we push through, hopefully we can go fill that gap to 521. But as of right now, for us to get a bullish day, we right there. We just got to flip. See if we can get over 518, man. If we can get back in this gap, man, it's game time. We just got to get back in this gap and try to go fill this gap. But we can't get too hyped yet. We can't get too hyped for a recovery. We just got to see how things play out, see if we can stay above this pre-market low. But we're in the range. So right now we got the support at 517.89. We want to stay above there. Now, another stock I've been talking about a lot is Palantir. So I told the Discord earlier, it has that range as well. You see how it played off of that pre-market low at $22. We're currently at $22.31. We want to continue to push above. We went to a low of $21.72. So once we got back above that pre-market low, it's been on a steady uptrend. But it's all dependent on what the market is going to do. It's all dependent on what the market is going to do. We got a pre-market high of $22.82. But the biggest level that I'm looking at on Palantir is that previous quarter close at $23.01. If we can get above there, we're going to flip green on the month and the quarter, and we can start pushing back to that previous quarter high, which was $27.50. That's the reason why I want to see us go above $23. We go above $23, we can get a strong move. So Palantir is really on my watch right now. We got the 50% retracement on the month at $25.21. Even that would be a solid move if we can get above $23. That type of move on Palantir is going to get you paid. We want to get above there. But we're trying to flip at $23.01. That's where we have to go above. You can see how it bounced close to that 50% retracement on the quarter. And if you was on a Zoom last night, I talked about where it could potentially go before it gets a recovery. And it went down into that 50% retracement this morning. $21.58. So these levels, they're like magnets, man. I'm telling y'all, you got to start playing them levels, especially on the longer time frames, to find you some support. And you get in off of that support and you ride that thing up. And you will know exactly what has to happen for your trade to work out. I already know on Palantir where it has to go and get above to get a breakout. I also know if it goes back below the 50% retracement at $21.58, then it ain't time for Palantir. So you will already know what has to happen on your trade before it happens, so you won't be just hoping and wishing. Definitely start playing them levels, man. I'm telling y'all. In the Flyzilla update, it'll have all of the levels for you. We're going to finish it this week, and I'll have it published for everybody to get. So you'll know what has to happen. All of your anxiety will be down. If we go look at Apple, same thing. Look at this range that Apple is in. We already know 168.49 is the previous quarter low. So we already know we have to stay above 168.49. We went and tested it. We went to 168.23 today, and we got back above. For Apple to really go, we have to get above 171.48. If we get a recovery, it's possible. We got some nice levels up there. We got 174.51 at the 50% retracement. And the previous month open, we got at 179.55. So we got a nice level there. So the first level you'll be looking at, if we can get above 171.48, you'll be looking at 174.51. If we can get above 174.51, then the next level you'll be looking at is 179.55 to go retest. But it's all dependent on what this market do. You can't get too hyped though, man, because the thing about this market is it'll have you seeing these opportunities and levels will reject and it'll come back down. That's why we have to get the confirmation. We have to get above certain levels. But Palantir, man, that's what my mind is on because we have earnings next month. Palantir earnings is May 6th. If Palantir get another good earnings, this thing can take off, man. And you see where Palantir came from. So the opportunity is there. We just got to get above these levels, man. $23. We want to get above 23. So today, I'm hoping we can stay above this $22 level, man. Let's stay above this $22 level, man. Show love so we can get to 23 this week. I feel like an opportunity can happen on Apple, man. If you look at the last few quarters, it's just been bouncing off support. Now, if it loses 168.49, then I wouldn't touch Apple because it's been holding its support. So if it loses that and we get the 2 down on the quarter, I wouldn't touch Apple at that moment. But if it can get back above 171.48 and if it can push, it can be an opportunity. Start looking at them longer time frames to see them levels. Eddie say, you see CCJ? Let me go look at CCJ real quick. CCJ moving. So if you look at CCJ, you got a small doji. That was a tight range. Gave you some indecision on last quarter, right? And we're above that 43.32 level. That was the close, right? We open above that level and we've been above that level. So we're super bullish right now. So the level that you will be looking for a breakout on CCJ is at 51. If it can break that level at 51.33, it's game time on CCJ. I like it right now. It got that strong level of support off that small doji at 43.32. So as long as it stays above there, it's going. And you see how it's performing with a down market. CCJ was a fire play. Should have looked at that joint yesterday. Good gracious. So CCJ yesterday opened at $44.50, and it's just been pushing since then. And the thing about it, man, if you catch a move on these smaller tickers like CCJ, it's the same thing I said on Palantir, same thing I said on Citi. CCJ on average has been moving $1.73. I'm telling you, who's ever in CCJ is getting paid. And them contracts probably aren't bad. Let's see how we looking. Palantir still pushing. We at 2260. Let's go look at Spotify real quick. Ooh, nice little recovery today. Spotify went all the way to 261.38. We at 268.89 now. Look at that quarter, y'all. Look at that quarter. Previous close, 263.90. All you need to see was to get above there. Now you in this range. So you got 263.90 to 278.30. That's where you want to touch. Let me look at the month. See if we got a little tighter range. Oh, tight range here. And you above it. 263.90, you above there. You trying to bust through 278.30. You get a bullish week. It's possible. Look at the week. Another tight range. It's possible. 278.30 last week high. That's what you're trying to get back to. It's possible. I like it. Congrats. Virtuous by faith. So we at with SPY. All right, so tomorrow, before we even get to the pre-market high and low, 518.40 is where we want to be above the previous week low. And then we'll be looking at a new pre-market low and high since we didn't get to the high today. Whatever the high is tomorrow, that's what we want to break above. If we're looking at the week, right now, the week 50% is at 521.50. And we're above the month. But the week is 521.50. So that's the level that we're trying to get to right now. We want to stay above 518.40 on SPY. We want to get to 521.50. If we can get above the 50% retracement, we trying to get to that week open at 523.83. We can get above that week open and flip green. It's game time in the market. We can get a real bullish week if that happens. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Palantir back to 2260. Come on, man. Let's break out of this range. Let's get above 2280, man. We get above 2280, it can get beautiful. Come on now. We right there. We can go green on the day and break out of this range, man. Palantir can do what it do. Let's see what happens. Back to 2270. Come on with it. Oh, look at Apple. Look at Apple. Okay. Apple broke that pre-market high. Now let's see if it can stay above 169.48. You already know the previous quarter close is at 171.48. It got to get up there. Spotify still going crazy. Market says SPY broke the pre-market high. We go look at SPY. Hey, bro. 519.14, man. We in the gap, man. Let's go fill this gap, man. SPY. My goodness. 517.67 low to 520. Pre-market range, man. Come on now. I'm going to make it real easy for y'all to get this money, man. I'm going to make it real easy for y'all to get this money in the market. These are the tips and the tricks. These are the tips and the tricks. So make sure you subscribe. Quit playing with me, man. Gil, nah, I ain't doing no weeklies, bro. You know that. We doing swings, bro. We ain't messing with no weeklies, brother. We want that time on that thing, bro. We want to give it time for it to play out. SPY going hammer.